I don't believe in positive statements, motivational quotes, and other encouraging crap. After we declare them aloud or put them on the wall, whether real or virtual, our subconsciousness decides that this particular problem is solved and we settle down in complacency. Instead, I prefer simple, practical solutions, step-by-step algorithms that give results. Even small results are great. They accumulate and produce huge changes in your life, thanks to the compounding effect. Today, I want to show you the natural, simple and elegant step-by-step algorithm of how relationships start and develop. Following it, you are guaranteed to end up with a partner that perfectly fits you, so that you and him will be totally happy together, for life. Truly happy, not convincing yourself that something is better than nothing. I know this sounds like a pretty bold claim, but I maintain that it works. Because, unlike most psychologists, I didn't make it up. Unlike them, I don't pretend that any human being knows better than the creator how the creation is created and how it should function in order to be happy, healthy and wealthy. Really, who knows better than the OEM does? First, allow me to reveal some trivia of which you haven't thought yet, to put you into context and agree on terminology. One of the basic premises: we are way too different. Women are much superior to men in most aspects of life. In order to become equal to men, women would have to get lobotomized, to lose most of their qualities. Can you imagine the richest people in the world striving to be equal to hobos living under the bridge? Of course not. Another thing, we see ourselves, others, life, relationships, world and everything in it differently. This is good to remember when dealing with anybody, especially when building relationships. Later today, we will go into more details on some of our differences, those that are important in relationships. For decades, I keep studying and applying how relationships really work. From the first-hand manual written by those who made us. Nothing in this manual was made up by humans, so you can trust the source. Of course, if you believe that some famous psychologists know better than God, by all means follow them. But if you are endowed with common sense, let's go in the right direction for a change. We will begin with starting the relationships. The basics. Women attract men, not chase them. Relationships development can be compared to gardening. A gardener plants the flower, choosing the best location for it, with good soil, enough sunlight, and so on. Then he waters it, prunes it, and takes care of it in other ways. The flower never runs after the gardener, never waters or prunes itself. The job of the flower is to accept the gardener's care and express its gratitude to him by being beautiful and happy. Of course, for this you have to be truly happy, don't fake it. If you are not, just tell the gardener. Most men are not equipped with the guessing function. But I'm running ahead of myself. Same here. A woman attracts a man, she doesn't chase him. There are many ways a woman can attract a man, starting with demonstrating him that she is interested. You don't even need to learn the techniques of attraction. You have it all in you inherently, since birth. Again, a woman is not supposed to chase a partner. You select him from many candidates. The key word here is many. Initially, there should be more than one of them. If you want to find your one and only, you should be dating several men simultaneously. I can hear you saying, but I'm not a whore. Of course you are not. But, newsflash, dating doesn't imply sex. Don't treat the men you date as your husbands. Don't sleep with them, don't feed them, don't serve them in any way like offering to do their laundry. Don't even invite them over to your home. It might sound outdated, but it's not. Our true self has same needs as it did thousands of years ago. Civilizations come and go, but our true nature remains same. Men and women grow into relationships differently. Later I will show you the process, how it really works. For now, one important point. As soon as you have sex with a man, he stops growing into your relationships. I guess this is not what you want. Another thing, the relationships should unroll according to the woman's scenario. Because if it develops the way the man wants, it will look like an ordinary porno movie, messy and quickie. Then you will get disappointed again, lose time, a huge part of your self-esteem, and even a bigger chunk of your health and vital energy. You might be afraid that a man will leave you if he doesn't get laid soon. This would be a valid concern if all you wanted is to also only have sex or to keep by your side just any man. But do you really want to retain him using sex? Because if he is with you only to get laid, he will leave you as soon as another woman shows up. This might happen as soon as within several weeks, if he is lazy, several months. I know, this contradicts the modern approach. But look where this modern approach got us. Nearly all couples break up pretty quickly. And after each such breakup, a woman gets yet another emotional wreck that sometimes lasts for years, not to mention the physical damage you get after each new sexual partner. It happens on the subtle level and quickly destroys your health and reproductive ability. We'll talk about it later today. Do you want to make the grim statistics, or do you want to be happy and healthy? Because for women, these two are closely related. If you don't want to end up like nearly everybody else, keep watching. You will not find this knowledge anywhere else. Not because it is a hidden information, but because there is no other relationship consultant who can integrate timeless ancient knowledge about human nature into the modern psychology, with several hundred successful cases under his belt and without false modesty. Dating several men at once has many benefits, but only if you do it properly. The main rule here is not treating any one of them as your husband. Which means, again, not sleeping with any of them, not feeding them, and not inviting them over. Got a broken washing machine? Hire a technician. Because if you invite a man you date to fix it, he will see it as an invitation for sex. No, you treat the men you date as your friends. This is the pre-selection stage. Here you have only one goal, to get to know them and to filter out the unfit. If a man behaves unworthy, you stop dating him immediately, which is not a big deal, because you have others to go out with. The rule of thumb here is simple. As long as a man demonstrates worthy behavior, you keep dating him. Even if at first you don't find him particularly attractive, he will become attractive for you later. But as soon as you see that a man is unworthy, you stop dating him right away. In a minute, I'll show you the difference between these two types of behavior. The most difficult here is not to get attached to any man you date too early. It happens all the time. Whether you really like him or out of being desperate, you might start ascribing him amazing qualities which he doesn't have. You will idealize the man, forgive him his flaws, and hope that he will change. This is a dead end, always and without exceptions. The further you proceed this way, the more painful will be your disillusionment and disappointment. But doing it right, you get many benefits. One of them, your self-esteem quickly grows, naturally, not convincing yourself. Another benefit, the men you date also grow and become more mature. Because men grow only through overcoming challenges, difficulties and obstacles. Competing for a woman is a challenge, believe me. Do you see how simple and natural it is? You enjoy yourself going out with men who compete for you. This raises your self-esteem, femininity, improves your health. You are always in a good mood while discovering and revealing best in men and selecting the one who deserves to be your lifelong partner. Every boy has the potential of becoming a real man. This potential can hibernate in him all life long and never realize itself, unless he gets approached and awakened by a real woman. In other words, unless he finds a path leading to his life purpose in accordance with his true nature. Now, let's clarify what you can accept in a man you date and what you reject. One of the keys to happy relationships is to never accept the man's unworthy behavior, but tolerate his limitations. For this, you will need to tell them apart. How to say a man's unworthy behavior from his limitations? The unworthy behavior hurts you or your relationships. The behavior that the man had acquired and what he can quit. Smoking, for example, or drinking, gambling, rude speech, lack of personal hygiene, you get the idea. If a man is willing to give up something for you, this is a clear sign that he is not only interested in you, but that he is also serious about it, yet has the capacity to grow. Pay more attention to such men. Limitations, on the other hand, is something that you might not really like in a man, but what he cannot fix. For example, being short or speaking with an accent or having big ears. Just don't make the popular mistake hoping that his limitations will go away or you will get used to it. If you cannot stand his huge ears while dating him, after marriage this will irritate you even more. This is what you have to take or leave, literally, because the man's limitations will be there for the rest of his life, and yours if you are up to a lifelong relationships with him. Finally, the worthy behavior is when a man you date sees and respects a real woman in you, not demanding anything from you, not imposing on you his responsibilities, not expecting that you will accept and forgive his unworthy behavior. Every real man wants to take care of someone. This is a part of our nature, and this cannot be changed or revoked by our made-up theories about it or by our dubious technological advancements. The truly your man is the one who protects you on all levels: physical, financial, emotional, and sexual. And we are really happy when we can do it. For example, if a man offers to pay for you in a restaurant, accept it and don't assume that you owe him anything for this. But if he demands from you something in exchange for this care, pay him in cash and never see him again. This is clearly an unworthy behavior. The guy is not ripe yet. Move on to the next admirer. Dating is learning. I think you can agree that if a man is not right for you, it is better to find it out in the beginning than later, when you two have kids, mortgage. Just don't prejudge anybody. If a man doesn't evoke an aversion in you, give him a chance. It is even better if you don't see him attractive in the beginning. Otherwise, your wet fantasies will make you too attached to him. This will end up badly. We spoke about it a minute ago. So, you keep dating several men at a time, at least 3-4. Not at the same dates, of course. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you got it. As unworthy men leave the pool of your dates, new candidates enter the competition. Eventually, only a couple of them will stay. And finally, the most worthy one will become your husband. It's like any championship, many candidates can enter it. At every round, some get eliminated until the best meet in a final game. Then only one of them becomes the champion and gets the prize, you. Most psychologists invent their theories just to get noticed. These theories multiply faster than you can try them out. But why reinvent the wheel? The approach we are talking about here is natural, prescribed by our Creator, so it always works. No matter how old or young you are, you cannot afford wasting your time on subjective theories invented by humans. When relationships develop at their natural pace without getting too close too early, you have enough time to see the man's limitations and decide whether you are ready to tolerate them for the rest of your life with him. If you can't live with it, no problem. Since you two didn't get too close too soon, you didn't get too attached to each other. So you can split easily. You also have enough time to see the man's unworthy behavior and let him know that you are not going to tolerate it. If he changes it, you keep dating him, because the willingness of a man to change for you is a great sign. It means that he is intelligent and responsible enough to grow to your level. But if the man behaves unworthy, doesn't admit it and doesn't want to quit such behavior, very well. Next. One very important difference between us. Women can guess many things, men almost nothing. Huge mistake, ladies, to think that if he loves you, he will guess. Your man might really love you with all his heart, while sincerely not knowing what's on your mind. Most men don't have the guessing option installed. So don't assume anything. If you don't like something, say it. Nothing drives men crazy and away as fast as when a woman says something like, "If you don't know why I'm mad, then I will definitely won't tell you."
Houston, we have a problem.
What?
Nothing.
What's the problem?
Never mind.
Please tell us the problem.
I'm fine.
If there is something that you don't like, talk about it. This will save your relationships. Of course, don't take it too far, complaining all the time. We also think differently. A man believes that if a woman doesn't say anything about what he does, she's okay with it. You may produce all kinds of heavy sighs and facial expressions anything that another woman would read from you right away. But a man will not guess, even if he stares at you all day long. Okay, by now you know how to properly select your lifelong partner. Retaining a man by your side, this is where the real challenge starts. Because attracting is easy. Any cute teenage girl can do it. But you want not only to have some transient fun, you want to have a lot of fun in your lifelong loving relationships. So you need to take the right steps. For this, you need to know how all relationships develop. In reality, not what we imagine about it. There are several stages of any relationships. Initially, at the first stage, a man gets attracted by a woman's appearance. The decision is made within the first several seconds and can change only if the woman dramatically improves her look, which almost never happens. A woman, on the other hand, initially gets attracted by the man's intelligence. She doesn't have to be attracted to him physically. This will come later. Yes, I know, today's fetish is a brutal, unshaved macho made of muscles. But this is only about mating, the animal level, only one component of relationships. Many women think that this is all men want. In fact, this is all what boys want, to score and to have what to brag about to their friends. Getting laid is what drives a typical insecure teenager. Just don't get misled by the man's age. Most men today have the mentality of a 14-year-old boy, regardless of his physical age. So yes, most superficially grown boys only want to get laid. But each of them has a potential which you can recognize and help him develop. Once we got attracted to each other, we enter the second stage of relationships, which lasts several weeks to several months. Here, the man gradually notices the woman's overall feminine qualities, while the woman evaluates his masculine qualities. First of all, responsibility. At this stage, you two learn about each other, discover what limitations your potential partner has, and decide whether you can live with it. If you successfully pass this stage of your relationship's development, you move on to the next stage. There, the man starts to pay attention to your intellect, while you suddenly notice that he is attractive physically, if you haven't so far. Several months later, you both, more or less simultaneously this time, start to get interested in your partner's spirituality, what he believes in, what religion he follows, what church he goes to. And only after this stage, you two are become truly connected on all levels. And nothing can break up this couple ever. But together only if you are not jumping the steps, in particular, not having sex prematurely. I know this is the most difficult part. All people want today is to have fun at all costs, but the cost here is really high, especially for women. Still, it is up to you. I'm just telling you how it works. Following any other scenario, you will end up alone again, or with a partner you cannot stand. The most common relationship mistake is when a woman acts out of scarcity. At a certain age, she gets afraid to stay alone for the rest of her life and becomes desperate to find the man she can marry. If she doesn't fall into another extreme, choosing to stay alone, she significantly lowers her standards and gets attached to a man she barely knows. In her head, she pictures him much better than he is, ascribes to him great qualities that he doesn't have, forgives him his unworthy behavior and hopes that after marriage he will change. He won't. If before marriage a man may want to change himself, after the marriage he won't change at all. He solidifies like a bucket of cement, and all you can do with a bucket of cement, you can throw it away or use as a boat anchor. The other extreme is just as bad, when a woman decides that screw it, I'll better be alone, and she lives alone, also miserable but in a different way. Very few people are intelligent enough to realize that one extreme is no better than its opposite. This is up to you to believe me or not. My part is to show you how you can get loving, harmonious relationships. It is much more fun than occasionally getting laid, what most people settle for, not knowing any better. Believe me, it's worth it. Even sex. Between two people who really love each other, it is fantastic, especially comparing to what you might have experienced so far. If you build your relationships the right way, eventually you two will get into the point of complete harmony on all levels: physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. Until then, you need to refrain from intimacy. I understand. that for most of us this is nearly impossible. Sorry, but it's not negotiable for a bunch of reasons. First, after you two get sex for the first time, a man stops growing into relationships. It's like when you stop cooking a dish midway. You don't get the meal you wanted. Instead, you get a pile of spoiled ingredients which you won't eat, not even your dog. Why would you do it to yourself? Another reason, likely you had in your life several relationships already. In some of them, you had sex with your partner. The others, you didn't. If you look deep into yourself, you will notice those relationships where you had sex were harder to quit. For women, it is much harder than for men. Sex ties knots between you two on emotional and energetic levels. And breaking these knots is very hard. This is a one-way link that sometimes stays for 5-7 years, and the woman loses energy through it. It is one way because men are not affected by this connection, unless there is karmic issue between the two. One more reason. Promiscuous sex costs a woman her health. Here is something doctors won't tell you. Consider this an esoteric knowledge. Energetically, your vagina is a matrix that contains information from many generations of your ancestors. This information is used to create the best offspring you can possibly have. The bad news is each sexual intercourse with a different partner erases 20 to 30% of this information. Do the math. After 3-4 sexual partners, this sacred information about you gets wiped out completely, which significantly decreases the quality of your future children. I find it really stupid to waste your vitality on having simple animal fun. Just don't think what I say sanctimony. I had my share of fun in life, enough for several people. But I'm a man. The consequences of male extramarital affairs is much less severe. You might rightfully think that your partner will lose interest and leave you if you two don't have sex for several months. Again, this is up to you. Either to hold on to just anybody for a short while or properly build loving, harmonious relationships that will last a lifetime. If a man cannot hold his pressure for several months, what will he do when you get sick or get pregnant? Get ready to hear something like, "Honey, I understand you cannot now, but I really want to, so I will go pay a visit to your sister." This is a great test for a man, whether he really loves you and is willing to sacrifice something to be with you, or is it more important for him to please himself? Nobody ever died of abstinence. On the contrary, voluntarily renouncing pleasures makes a man stronger in all senses. It was very brief and very general, but now you know what the proper relationships involve. There are certain steps. If you don't skip or mix them, you are guaranteed to get the relationships you want. Follow me, there will be more about it. If you have questions, ask. Remember, I'm a man, so I can't guess what bugs you, especially if I don't know you yet. Ask and I will help.